Yeah, and then this goes that way, doesn't it? It sure does. Um, Alright. And then we go, so we go sideways that way, and then we go down that way. Okay, more hoppers. Fail. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see, gravel, stone. Way too much dirt. Actually, let me just take some dirt back, just in case I need to fill something. Zombie horses still spawning in full light. So, in vanilla, the zombie horses would spawn with a rider, and there'll be a hostile mob spawning in full light. I've turned off the rider, so it's only the horse. But zombie horses being undead, it shouldn't. I mean, it's a bit awkward, right? It's it's programmed as a hostile mob in the game, and you can't change that. Well, I mean, you can. You can change, but it doesn't matter. Like, the game is... I should explain this. In the JSON files, you can categorize a mob as passive or hostile, but it doesn't change how they spawn. For some reason, their spawn rules are hard-coded, and changing the spawn rules doesn't actually change how they spawn in the game, right? So the zombie horse is set as a hostile mob, and in the files it is set so that it should not spawn in light, but it does anyway, because it completely ignores the JSON files. Spaghetti code, am I right? Somebody needs to basically rewrite the spawning rules, or the spawning function. You have 10 seconds to comply. Alright, good. Are you serious? What is happening? Did they not pass fine onto hoppers? I guess hoppers are transparent blocks. Like they're trying to jump out of here. He's trying to jump out of this place. But he doesn't seem to pass fine onto the hoppers. Anyway, so I was trying to get the zombie horses to not spawn. They, at the moment, the JSON files only state light level. And it doesn't separate skylight from artificial lights. Right. If you set it so that it only spawns in the dark, like at 0 light level, it never spawns on the surface, because at nighttime the sky is still light, right? There's still like, I think it's 2. There's still a light level of 2 just from the sky. So it's never light level 0, even in the middle of the night. I guess now we go that way. Maybe we also go up here. Right? So how the mobs should spawn is, if the artificial light component is 0, so the light from torches and glowstone and campfires and other things, so if that component is 0, and if the natural light component is less than 7, then the hostile mobs can spawn, I believe is what it's supposed to be. So there's 2 components, there's the skylight and the block light basically. But in the data files it does not differentiate between skylight and block light, because it's from an older time and they never updated it. They never updated the data, and they never. Then the current spawning rules do not use that data. So changing the data doesn't actually change the spawning behavior. I believe I want to go up here as well. Yes. Yes. Which? Also those. Also those, but I'll come back to that later on, doing this first. I mean, there's just like... I mean, I don't do programming in a corporate environment. So I don't want to complain about something I don't know anything about, right? But the coding discipline is important. Things like commenting your code properly. Things like, you know, coding in a way that makes it easier to maintain. The way they changed the mob spawning in Bedrock was clearly done in a way that was not correct, right? It was not, Oh, do I go up here as well? Maybe I do. Like, they didn't follow the, established procedures. Pretty amateur, to be honest. And then they never fixed it, right? If you do it wrong, you kind of have to go back and fix it, and they never did that either. But it's not just Mojang, right? It's not just Microsoft. Happens in a lot of software development. Like somebody writes some lazy code, it doesn't get caught, and it causes problems later on because it's just impossible to maintain. Oh, what's this? Huh. How did that happen? What's an analogy, right? Imagine you're making like a piece of furniture or something, I don't know. And you're supposed to use screws. You're supposed to use screws because if you use screws, you can unscrew the piece, change the piece, screw it back on, right? That's the intent. Maybe not even screws, maybe bolts. You're supposed to use bolts, right? You bolt it, so you can unbolt it, change it, and then bolt it back. But somebody got lazy and didn't use bolts, and instead they used glue. They glued it together instead of using bolts. So because they glued it together, you can't unglue it, you can't separate it. And because you can't separate it, you can't fix it easily. I mean, to fix it, you have to like remove the whole thing and then redo the whole thing. And nobody wants to do that. I guess that's like an analogy of bad programming. So somebody glued it. And once you glue it, it's basically impossible to unglue. And so now when you need to change something, you can't change it. Or you can, but you have to do a whole lot of extra work to change it. And nobody wants to do the extra work. And so everybody tries to make an excuse to not change it. And that's because somebody glued it instead of bolting it at some point. I guess that's the analogy of bad programming discipline. right? Like, you know, like in the moment, whether you glue it or nail it or bolt it, like it kind of works the same way. You're just attaching two pieces of things together, right? In your mind, you think, well, we're just attaching this together. What's the problem? With how it, like, what difference does it make? How I do it? As long as these two pieces are stuck together, right? Except that when you glue it, you can't take it apart again without doing a whole lot of extra stuff. And that's like when you hard code something, instead of having it being data driven, I don't actually want that to go that way, now that I realize I want it to go that way because it's closer. Doesn't really matter that much. So in Minecraft, all the blocks and mobs and everything else, oh, I'm supposed to do this. It's all supposed to be data driven. By data driven we mean that we have like JSON files that define everything. And then the game interprets those values in the JSON files into whatever it is. You know, like a block, it has hardness, it has like what you can use to break it, what it does. But then there has to be certain things that are hard-coded, right? For example, what does a hopper do? A hopper takes items and it passes items forward. So that, you kind of have to hard-code a bit of that into the game. But then you just program that as hopper behavior. You can make other blocks that have hopper behavior. Or you should be able to, if you do it right. Same with droppers and redstone stuff. And you make it so that you can apply the same behaviors to other blocks if you want to. Which then makes it easy to make other blocks. So those have to come this way, because the hoppers don't go up. Yeah, and the main issue is that spawning rules, I mean, it's actually not that complicated. The spawning rules are not data-driven. Like, for example, how a skeleton spawns. There's not like a particular spawn rule and you apply it to the skeleton.json. You don't do that. It's hard-coded that a mob that's called skeleton spawns in this particular way. So just the list of mobs that spawn in that particular way, instead of that list being a file that you can just edit, it is hard-coded in the game for some reason. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's like the list of mobs and how they should spawn. That part is for some reason hard-coded. And if you just take that out and put that into a file, everything's solved. That's all it is.